Hi YouTube, this is Choices with Chichi, and you guessed right, I'm super excited to have you guys with me. Today we'll be talking about a very practical topic, which is misconceptions people have about marriage or married people. But just by way of reminding us, Choices was the YouTube channel Choices was created for two reasons. First, to inspire hope in marriages, and secondly, to build godly mentors. I had come in contact with a lot of people who had commitment issues or those who just dreaded getting married because of the kind of stories they had heard. So while there are people who are going through stuff in their marriages, there are also those who are making it work. So I thought to myself, why not have an avenue where people come and interact and receive hope, where hope is basically inspired and people understand that they can make it. Like I keep saying, marriage is an institution set up by God, and the God I know does not do stuff to hurt us. So marriage is supposed to be beautiful, it's supposed to be powerful, it's supposed to be long lasting. Marriage is supposed to have a great impact in the world as it stands today. And it's my desire that we, in our marriages, we fulfill the original plan of marriage as God intended it to be. So in light of that, we are talking about misconceptions people have about marriages. Now, I have had interactions with people, and some people say are very disturbing, to say the least. Some people come up to me and say stuff about married people or married, and I'm like, where did you get that impression from? And I know I'm not the only one who has had those kinds of conversations. So today we're basically challenging the norm. We're helping you understand that there are certain notions people have that are wrong, and the bad thing about notions or wrong opinions is that they affect your expectations. Yeah. So if you have a wrong, mindset about marriage, you could have very wrong expectations, and if they are not met, then it could be a problem in your marriage. So we're hoping that after our discussion today, you'll just probably sit and think and unlearn, if you have to unlearn what you've already learned about marriage, and begin to relearn things based on the realities on ground and based on the principles set up by God as it concerns marriage. So on misconception number 1, I'll be talking about being married and getting sick. So there's this notion that once you're married, especially for women, you can't be sick. How can you be sick? Every sickness is a congratulations sickness. In fact, you hear people tell you stuff like, oh, you're not feeling fine. So is it the get well soon sickness or the congratulations sickness? People, married women can be sick. You see things like malaria, cough, catarrh, it can affect married people. It doesn't have to be pregnancy related, if you have a relationship with somebody and then you can joke about such things. But if you're not sure how to go about those kind of things, then just stick to I heard you're not feeling good, I hope you feel better. Or if you know that you're pregnant, then you say, sorry, congratulations. No, not sorry, scratch that. More like congratulations, But some people are very sensitive about this kind of things, like, I'm ill. I genuinely have someone who was very ill immediately a week after her wedding, and she couldn't tell anybody because she just did not want the whole stress of already, Yes, so people can be sick. Misconception number 2. This is key. I've heard people say stuff like, in the Nigerian parlance, when you marry, your own done better. It's like all your problems are solved. You have no single problem in this world anymore. I wish I wish. But let's remember that the man is coming with his own problems. You are coming with your own problems. Lobato, who is solving whose problem? The Bible even says it, that one person will put 1,000 to flight, and then 2 people will put 10,000 to flight. But the good thing about it is that you guys are now a team. You know how they say 2 heads are better than 1. So 2 heads come together, and then you have more profit for your labor. That's basically what happens in marriage. So it's not like, you just become fine, like life done better. No, we're still working, remember? If I didn't have a car, we still don't have a car. It's just by the time we pull resources, we can now buy a car. By the time I pull up pull his idea and my idea, we can build an empire. Do you understand? So it's not a disappearance issue. It's that we're working together, we're working as a team, and then, getting profits for our labor together. So don't say that, and don't think that, and don't expect that. It's faulty. Misconception number 3 is the wrong opinion, and I'm talking to men and women now, that the man is your source and the woman is your servant. The wrong mindset that border on 2 S's, source and servant. The man is not your source. He's a provider. His source, your source and his source. I don't mean S-A-U-C-E, no. I mean S-O-U-R-C-E, source is God. See, this is like a sermon by itself, but I'm just going to be brief about it. So remember that before you married, things were happening for you. Yeah, so after you're married, things will still happen. But don't forget who made it happen. It was God all through. It was God all through your job or your parents, And after you're married, it's the same God. Now, why that is a very wrong mindset is this. When the man, who is a human, who has limitations, is unable to meet your needs, he becomes the enemy, and there is a problem, because you go and you start saying, boy, you're the provider, you're supposed to provide. But if you have the mindset that God is our source, when things are not available, you don't fight your husband, who is your team member. You go to God and you're like, Baba, the Bible says he who finds a wife finds a good thing and obtains favor from the Lord. So Father, open up heaven's doors and windows over us. Cause my husband to, break forth and do stuff. So you guys are still a team, and then you've understood that, our source is good. So Father, let it rain on us. As for the man, she's not your servant. She's not your servant. Like, she's not your servant. I have to say it 3 times. I've seen people that say, I can never enter the kitchen once I get married. Wow. No. She's not your servant. She's your helpmate. You guys are a team. As it concerns your house, please, you can do the school run, you can do the dishes, you can do the laundry. It doesn't make you any less of a man or the head of the family that you are. As a matter of fact, and I know most women would agree with me, there is a way a man treats you and treats the things of the house that makes you just submit to him. It makes submission easy. It makes loving him easy. You're just in awe of his humility. So you see, that being head of the family is a wonderful thing, but it doesn't come by ordering. It doesn't come by crossing your leg and expecting things to just be happening around you while you're the bachelor. This time around, bachelor with benefits. You want to still be bachelor, but you want to be getting the benefits of marriage. No. The respect, the submission, the love actually comes in leading. In leading in everything. In leading in the spiritual aspect of the house, in the financial aspect of the house, even in the work, the chores at home. So, source and servants, let's get it right so that we don't have issues in our marriages. The last misconception I will be talking about is this very important issue too. The misconception that once we get married and we start having children, our children become our priority. Hello, wait. Why did you marry? Did you marry to have children and raise children? It's a very good question. One of my future topics, I'll be addressing marriage visions and missions. Yeah. Why did you marry? The first reason most people say they marry is for companionship. So please, what happened to your companionship when you started having children? So we need to be careful. The reality is that these children are a gift from God. They are here on their own assignments. So at some point, they will leave our houses, remember? And then you guys will be back to square one. Empty nest situation. What will you now do then? So we need to be careful so that you don't over-prioritize these children at the detriment of your spouse or the relationship you guys had in the first place. Yeah? When the kids are gone, you'll still have yourself. So take out time to do you. Go on vacations alone. Spice up your marriage. Let the fire be burning. Let your relationship be waxing stronger. Let the children actually see what it feels like to have a home. So while you love your children, don't over prioritize them. Sit back and hear what other people had to say, and I'll be right back.
The opinion that marriage kills women's career ambition, as they are expected to take on a more traditional housewife role, is not necessarily true. Like me, I went back to work after giving birth, and I recently completed a master's degree, which was actually suggested by my husband. Even the Proverb 31 woman that we have as an example was a business guru. So I think it's all about having a realistic ambition that will not neglect your marriage and your children, then down to communication and planning with your husband. Another opinion is that once you're married, you lose your freedom and sense of independence. I don't think that is true too, because in my own marriage, I have time to meet up with friends. I have time to do things alone. It's all down to planning and communication with your husband. Again, I had like a marriage that husbands needs sex. Why sex is more like a submissive role on the side of the wife. You hear things like, I service my husband, I do my wife duties, when women are referring to sex in their marriage. So, and I also heard from 3 different women that it's unladylike to show enthusiasm about sex with your husband, like showing your husband that you desire to have sex with him, and that the husband may see the wife as being cheap or behaving like a hoe. The Maslow hierarchy of needs have sex as one of the basic needs for human being. It didn't say it's for husband alone. So, and even Corinthians say, wife, you have authority over your husband's body. Say husband, you have authority over your wife's body. So I think it's saying you have the right to demand for sex when you want it, and your husband have. So it's a mutual thing. It's not for a wife alone or husband alone. Another thing I heard is that a marriage that sex is boring. Like, what will make sex boring? Well, I think it's lack of communication. Communicate to your husband about what you like, about your sex life, talk about styles you want to try out, or what he did that you liked, or what you would like to be done to you. Research have shown that couples that talk about sex have a better sex. I found that in all these opinions that marriage is not one size fits all kind of thing. You make the marriage you want.
Hi, my name is Neni. So I was told to say one or two misconceptions about being married. Like, once you're married, what do people just assume because you're married? For me, the first one is once you're a married woman, you're not supposed to be broke. Like, how can you be broke? Are you not a married woman? And I'm like, seriously? Hey, who said married women cannot be broke? That is a misconception, and it's made women even borrow, take loans, try to keep up appearances, just because people expect that once you're a married woman, you have no right to be broke. Or even a married man, like, they put so much pressure on you that you want to start trying to, be like the Joneses. No. Married people also get broke, just so that we know. Another thing I'm going to say is this one is so funny. Like, once you're a married woman, people expect you to cut off your friends, or some women actually cut off from their friends, like good friendships. You cut them off just because you're married. I'll just say this once. My sister, please do not cut off your friends, especially those good ones that you've known and that have been with you through everything. Please do not cut off your friendships. You need your friends. You're married, yes, but you also need your friends. There are times when you're going to feel like running mad. There are times when you're going to ask yourself, who sent me work? Who sent me make I come marry this man? You're going to ask yourself these questions. I'm telling you, no matter how sweet, no matter how hunky-dory, how sweet the thing is, there are times. And in those times, it's those your friends that will tell you, babe, these things happen. Don't worry. Our mothers passed through it. Even me too. I'm going through it. Please do not cut your friends off once you get married. This is a free advice I'm giving. Do not cut your friends off. Thank you.
Hello everyone, my name is Bologi Stephen, and on the Challenging the Norm series, two things that I want to share that I had misconceptions about before marriage or about marriage. Number one is this notion that your life ends once you're married. So I've had friends and people come up to me and say, oh, I wanted to talk to you about maybe this idea, or I mean you're married now, or oh, I wanted us to go out but you're married, oh, I wanted us to see but you're married, I have this thing for us to do together, like ministry wise, but you're married. And I'm like, I'm married, I know keep a sin and I know die. She gets like, obviously there's a place for balance, there's a place for me to strike a balance. And then secondly, now I'm married, I can't just up and make decisions on my own. There's another whole human being that I have to consider, that I have to run things by, that I have to get permission, that I have to give good notice about. But my life isn't over because I got married. In fact, my life is just starting, or a phase of my life rather is just starting. So that's the first misconception really that people try to put on me like, oh, everything else is over because you're married. And then secondly, I always used to hear that the first year is the hardest. The first year is hard, the first year is terrible, and you hear backing up stories. And I really had this misconception. So for me, it was like I was waiting to marry and experience, like I was bracing myself for the hardness of the first year. Do you understand? But thankfully for me, I was able to clear this misconception just before my wedding. So I'm grateful for that, because I had friends that had been married, and some people I followed on social media, they were like, oh, my first year wasn't terrible. My first year we were actually happy. My first year was good. So I'm like, oh, it can happen. So I mean, it will happen for me. It's not saying that there are no arguments. It's not saying that there are no misunderstandings. But that notion that the world and people had put on me, that oh, your first year is just going to be hard, like you'll be crying, you'll just be like all these things. It's not my story, and that misconception is cleared. I'm grateful for that. So yeah, those are two misconceptions that I have cleared, and I'm challenging the norm with them, because number one, my life doesn't end because I got married. Number two, the first year is not going to be hard. It is work, like marriage is work. I'll be happy, you will be happy, and we will move on to other years. Thank you.
Welcome back. I hope you were blessed. I hope you were blessed. Listening to them myself, I felt very encouraged. And I believe someone out there is having a change of mindset, a reorientation. And I just hope you take out time to assess your belief system and probably ask yourself where you got those wrong notions from. But more importantly, deal with them. Choices, remember, like choose to deal with them and watch your marriage come back to life or move to the next level of excitement and fun and joy that you anticipate. In all, I hope you have a blessed week. Till I see you guys next time. Ciao, ciao.